What's up, YouTube? Today I got Mark DeVries. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Mark
Hell
DeVries.
yeah. DeVries, he's got two different businesses, a roofing company that does roofing, siding, gutters, exterior, and Tri-Town Construction. What's Tri-Town Construction?
We do custom homes and modular homes and big remodels.
Yeah, commercial builds too.
Yep.
I'm going to pick your brain a little bit about the opportunity and development opportunity. There's a big opportunity here in Florida. Mm-hmm. You know, if you have the balls, the cojones. But if you're watching this right now, we're going to go through Mark's constraints on his business. I don't know if you're trying to scale, but if you're trying to scale your business, you've got goals, you've got these big ideas, and a lot of times it's removing the things that are in your way and focusing on the simple things. And so during this video, I'm going to go through the goals of both companies, and I'm going to help prioritize Mark's actions, because the one concept that's helped me more than anything in business is there's one thing that makes everything unnecessary, that makes everything roll like a domino. And if you can always prioritize that one thing, then you need to basically focus on the thing that one action is going to knock down, millions of dollars in revenue. And it's always usually resulting not in a system, process, or business system, but usually a person. It's like usually a who, not a how. But let's talk about both businesses. We got, what's the roofing company's name? Florida Roofing Gutters?
Yeah, Florida Roofing Gutters. We say FRG.
How long y'all been doing roofing and gutters?
Yeah, we started in like a month before Ian.
Okay.
So we
perfect time to get started.
Perfect time. The reason I branched out is because Tri-Town Construction, we've been here since 2006. When you're have a roof problem, Tri-Town Construction is not the first thing that comes to mind.
Right.
So I branched off Florida Roofing and Gutters.
You wanted the brand to
pretty
say.
Easy to know what we do, right?
Yeah.
Florida Roofing and Gutters. I also, trying to focus Tri-Town on luxury remodeling, custom homes. I didn't want to kind of cloud that with roofing. Oh, you guys do everything. You can't be great at everything, right? So Florida Roofing and Gutters was born. We have
2023 numbers.
2023 numbers. We will be at 5.1, somewhere in there, 5.1 million.
And you know what? The most important thing a lot of times, revenue is honestly the only thing that I've really looked up to over the years. Now, as I get into the private equity space, the one thing they care about is that, most of the time we talk back and forth about revenue numbers.
Yeah.
They talk back and forth about EBITDA, profit, and you'll be talking with a guy and he'll talk about a $2 million company. He's not talking about $2 million in sales.
Right.
He's talking about $2 million in profit.
Right.
Do you know the margin or percentage on the 5.1 million?
Yeah, 25% or 20%, $1 million.
Okay, beautiful. This right here is a unicorn percentage, and a lot of it basically is the area. Somebody on the internet says that you should only build a roofing company to $5 to $7 million because it's a sweet spot, and you should just stay small and keep it that way.
Yeah.
There's some truth to that statement, because at 5 million, you have office manager, production manager, sales manager, 5 salesmen.
Yes.
That's about the
size. We've increased our sales guys, but they're starting after 2024. So in 23, we've had about 5 sales guys going.
And the cool thing about it is a lot of the overhead from Tri-Town was able to support this without a whole lot of overhead expense, correct?
Yeah, so in FRG, we probably have some overhead that's being carried by Tri-Town.
Okay, let's go over Tri-Town's.
We're going to equal out this year. We're at about 12 million with Tri-Town.
Okay, 2023, 12 mil. And of course, general contracting, retail, it's not going to be the same margin.
Yeah, we're at like
close.
6%.
Okay, that's fine.
And a lot of room for improvement.
All right, we're gonna dig into that. How much? Let's see, 12 million, 6%. What is the math on that? It's like 1.2, so it's gonna be about what, 600 grand, 700 grand, 700K profit. So in reality, roofing company, a lot less headaches, less individual trades, more profit.
Yes.
Now, when you scale this to that number, the margin could go down.
I agree.
So we have to be aware of that. Now,
plus we've had a year of hurricane work, right?
That's right.
So a lot of insurance.
Now you got a big problem there. I didn't want to get into that first.
Okay, yeah.
Now, what are the goals for both companies 2024?
I would say at least 10 million for FRG.
Okay, 10 million in revenue.
We've got already probably 2 million sold
in
on
commercial.
paper. Paper, yeah.
Okay.
Commercial.
Okay, so you got 2 million already sold, and then you want to keep the same margin.
Yeah.
You want to go for 20%, and you want to make 2 mil in margin. Great. All right. Over here, 2024. What's the goal?
Here we want to get to a 12% margin, and we want to hit 20 million.
Okay, 20 million at 12%. So we're looking at probably 2.4 mil. So, all right, great. All right, so in the art of war, we talked about this before we got started. It's like you got two different armies, and you know Hitler had two different armies too. I mean, he had one army. One went to Russia, and one covered the Western Front. And whenever it got cold in Russia, what happened?
Yeah, they lost.
They lost, and that happens in any war. And whether we're scaling a roofing business or a construction company, dude, people get hurt on the job. Material and labor cost more than it's supposed to. You got pissed off customers. Sometimes you deal with like unscrupulous people that don't want to pay, and they want to screw you. So does it feel like war sometime out there?
100%.
All right.
All the time.
All right. So now we got to get into like, one thing I like about you is you're self-aware. And I always say if you're not self-aware, you don't have a prayer. So, you know, you've got your SWOT analysis: strength, weakness. Let's just do a quick SWOT analysis. So strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. Okay, what are the strengths over here at Florida Roof and Gutters? You said something about recruiting. With the new program, you were doing good with recruiting.
Yeah, we got recruiting. I would say our strength right now is our staff. You know, we got Bert, we got Anthony. You know, we got really good people in the right seats.
So you have a strong sales core.
Yeah, sales.
Because Bert is a guy that is always going to sell.
100%.
And he could sell multi-million-dollar jobs, and he's a freak. I mean, even as a CEO, I sold $6 million in jobs for the company this year. That mattered. That helped a lot. Recruiting, strong sales culture.
Industry knowledge.
Now, Bert, as a guy selling these multi-million-dollar deals, if he's going door to door in a residential, hard-hit neighborhood where all the roofers, maybe he's not that door to door. He's
door to door.
He's door to door.
He's taught us door to door. I used to never do door to door.
So basically, that is Bert's strength, but it's not necessarily the organization's strength yet. Does Bert have any disciples that is like Bert's right hand?
He's starting to groom them, but nobody yet that could step in if something happened to Bert. And I think that's one of our threats right now. Okay,
so we only got one sales manager, and he's also sort of our GM.
Yeah, he's our GM.
You know, so he's doing multiple jobs. You said so. He's a sales manager. He's a GM and COO. And Bert kind of seems a little ADD anyways.
Very ADD, very hypertension.
So leader, and he's like me, probably a little passionate.
Very passionate.
So that means if he's ADD, it could be good whenever things are great, but whenever things are adversity, sometimes that negativity can pass through the team a little bit.
I would see that. He gets frustrated when things aren't perfect or his way, you know. If he does, you know, he demands perfection of himself, and if he doesn't get that from others, he gets very frustrated.
Okay, so this is a very common problem with high-level salespeople that become sales leaders. Out of 1,000 people, there's only very small numbers of people that are equal to Bert in his abilities, work ethic, and commitment.
Yeah.
And whenever you're training people and you got all these people that come through that don't give it what you give it, it's disheartening a little bit.
Yeah.
And so one of the threats to me also would be that you're in Fort Myers, that you did this after a storm, and that now basically you'd have to recreate it after most of the roofs have been done, or basically have to elongate the storm and you have to really pull every retail deal out. And the threats would be basically that there's been 2 storms and you're working a no roof left behind market, and now because all the roofers came in, it's gotten tighter. It's become very competitive.
It has become competitive.
Price competitive.
I would say that because of our reputation with Tri-Town, you know, we're a sister company, been here since 2006. That's a really good selling point. We're not a year-old roofing company. We're a company that's, you know, branched off a 20-year company.
I like that.
So that's helped us greatly, you know, keeping our reputation tight and doing the right thing. We do have a lot of storm chasers that came in, but a lot of them are packing up and leaving.
A lot of them left. And so if you look at your weaknesses, we talked a little bit about you need more leaders. You need to develop more leaders so that you've got that you and Mark or you and Bert are the only leaders. What are the other weaknesses that you got that aren't necessarily threats, just like general weaknesses that are just,
our weakness is probably we are a new company. Although we are, Tri-Town's sister company, we are a year old.
Right.
Our team is new. I mean,
so for newer people, that means new company, new people. It just means people need training.
How well do you really know somebody until you've met them, you've been with them for a year plus a year? A lot of these people haven't even been with me for almost a year.
Plus, if you see them during the good times, when there's nothing but work, then that doesn't always show you what it's like during harder times.
It's easy and fun and sales are coming in, different people when maybe that's not happening.
Okay.
So for sure, new people is probably a weakness, is definitely a weakness.
You're talking about, before we got on here, your CRM and your system you'd say was a strength, but you have some new systems.
Yeah.
And
creating those automations, new system with Job Nimbus. We just started, I would say, 3-4 months ago with Job Nimbus. So that's a complicated system.
Yeah, and you were switching from another system.
We came from AccuLynx.
Okay, so the one thing I can tell you about AccuLynx is it does a better job sometimes giving the roofing business owner a visual.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding.
And in order for Job Nimbus does a better job connecting to all the softwares and running through an assembly line process. Mm-hmm. Now, like AccuLynx, if you were to say what reporting is better, Job Nimbus or AccuLynx, what would you say?
I would say that the reports are probably good on Job Nimbus, but you have to set them up and you have to automate.
That's why I would say that almost AccuLynx has an advantage.
It's easier. Yeah.
Okay, so you have to customize and set your Job Nimbus up. Mm-hmm. And one of the weaknesses is that new system, if you don't get it set up completely, you might get a lack of buy-in to using the system. When I first started using Job Nimbus, you know what sucks? If you don't move each lead through each stage. If you're not in production using sometimes there's so many times to move a board that they just don't do it.
Right.
The production doesn't do it, or the sales don't do it. And so to counter this, we got to figure out, how do we give a consequence and a reward, a carrot and a stick? And that's how, like National Roofing League, in order to get each of the points, they have to move the lead through the system. And in order for basically the production manager to have his reports that we check on, he has to move each job through the system. And by moving the jobs through the system, that's when the communication's triggered. So new system, it needs setup. This is a weakness. What else is a weakness?
Communication could always be improved upon amongst team leaders.
So you say door-to-door is a strength and communication?
Internal communication.
Okay, this is always a weakness.
Yeah.
And one of the ways, like I will say your door-to-door heartbeat, like the one thing is that we're dependent so much on one man. So if he's doing 4 commercial projects, his door-to-door heartbeat is going to be attached to those jobs more than carrying momentum for the team. I have my sales leader Harrison in my office. He's landing a job. He's going to make a lot of money on this job, $300K plus. So a lot of times throughout the last 2 months, Harrison, where are you at? 2 months ago, I could have called him, and almost 80% of the time there's salesmen in the truck. Now, 80% of the time I call him, he's on the job site. And I'm like, it's kind of like a balance. You got to figure out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that means, like, this idea that we don't have a BERT replacement, this idea that, the door-to-door accountability for internal communication, since Bert's so good at it, he doesn't have to track his doors.
Right.
He doesn't have to assign territories to other people. He doesn't have to have a daily leaderboard of who signed contingencies, who didn't. And you know what's frustrating? When you have the same conversation with a son of a bitch. Mm-hmm. Hey, did you get any deals today?
Yeah.
No. How many doors you knock?
Right.
10.
Right.
Okay, what happened? Now, if you have to have this conversation daily with the people, which this daily accountability meeting we have with our sales leaders who then respond to their teams, and sometimes our sales people that are leaders only have 3, 4, 5 people on their team. So if they don't have the door knocks, if they don't have the deals, contingencies or hard-earned contracts, at 7:30 a.m., every day we have a call for the leaders. And we didn't always track the amount of door knocks, the amount of contingencies, the amount of contracts, their goals, make them make a public declaration, then make them answer to why they don't have it in front of their friends. And this level of communication is how you scale BERT.
So how do you do that, on a Zoom call or something?
Yeah, we do it on a Zoom call. We do it with the Roofing Redline app, with the door-to-door knocks, and the way that, you know, every time that we do a door, it dispositions the door, but it also connects to Job Nimbus, so all the contingencies are there. And the real thing is that every night the sales leaders in the morning are supposed to go through, if they have a meeting in the office with the sales guys, what's called a box review, which they go through each one of their Job Nimbus sales production boards, and, you know, just asking them about which ones are in inspection scheduled, which ones are in contingency, who do you need to complete offers for, what's this guy's objections on a retail sell. And essentially, yeah, we're having a Zoom call every morning at 7:30 a.m. But they're reporting their National Roofing League numbers. That's contingencies, contracts, solar, power bills collected, and solar deals. They're also answering to how many door knocks that they've got, and they're sharing their wins and getting recognized in front of everybody. Like, just, I mean, that goes a long way. But internally, there's this saying that I don't do that good at. I would rather deliver a great sales meeting, make a great YouTube, and then have everyone take that information the way I would and take it into the field. But that's content. I'm creating content. Contact, like, content is when I'm coaching you on Zoom. Contact is what I'm doing right now, one-on-one.
Yeah.
And so I would say contact over content. And contact means that sometimes, like Bert's job of calling a guy in the middle of the day saying, hey, I don't see any door knocks for you today. What's going on? You know, look, dude, it's 4 o'clock and you don't have any door knocks, but it's not too late for you to turn the day around. Go to this territory, knock 30 doors. I promise you, if you do that, that you will find an easy deal. You think this is hard, you're just not getting out there and making it easy for yourself. Go to this spot, don't overthink it, go. That's contact over content. That's field generalship. And sometimes just because you're great at landing commercial, landing sales, you're not great at being the cat herder.
Right.
It's hard. Okay, so internal communication. Any other weaknesses?
I'm sure we have some, but...
Is marketing a strength or a weakness?
Strength.
Okay, so how is marketing a strength?
So I come from a marketing background. I love marketing.
You make great videos.
Yeah, videos I'm getting better and better at.
We're running the video ads, getting leads.
We are, I don't know. That's a good question. I know I have Anthony and I have Yadlin, who are working on Google, who are working on Facebook ads, who are posting them greatly. I don't know where the leads are coming from. I know we're getting a good amount of leads though.
Okay.
Yeah, so I love marketing. That's probably what I'm best at. Okay,
so the strength in marketing is that you love it and that you're willing to invest into it, and that you're willing to get better at it, and that you're the owner, and that you believe that marketing is important.
Yeah.
And I saw a definition today on the internet. Sales versus marketing. Marketing is getting your name out there, and sales is bringing the money in. And I will have to say, it's a little bit of the wrong perspective, because getting your name out there and getting everybody to love your name, that's more branding.
Yeah.
Marketing is a way, well, every relationship, every interaction, every time that you do anything with a customer, a potential customer, is marketing.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're marketing when you're delivering good communication during the build. You're marketing when at the end of the build, you offer the opportunity to get a free win mitigation report if they give you 3 5-star reviews. That's marketing.
I think marketing is getting people to come to you.
Yeah.
And putting a good name out there, doing good work, getting people.
So you made a good point. It's not just getting your name out there, it's getting people to raise their hand for a set dollar amount, okay? And there's 3 things that are most important in marketing. Okay, if you do not know these numbers, this is where your business is not worth as much as it should. Okay, first of all is CPA, cost per appointment. Okay, so right now, you've got the salaries for the 2 people on marketing. You've got money that you've invested in me. You've got the money that you give Facebook and Google. And these go all into your cost per appointment. You add up every dollar that you've spent, all those things, and you total up how many appointments. You divide those, you got your cost per appointment. And it's not the cost per lead that matters, because you look at the volume of leads, but the leads aren't important.
Cost per appointment.
The cost per appointment is important. And if you want to get better, you can increase the percentage of leads to appointments.
How do you keep track of appointments? Is that something that Job Nimbus keeps track of?
Yes, so we're going to go next door and we're going to show you the inside sales center. And it's been one of the hardest things for me as I built this like roof money printing machine. Because it's not a money printing machine if I don't know what it costs per appointment, what it costs per deal, and what my closing rate is. All right, all it is money in a hole.
Yeah.
And so how I do it is I have a inside sales leaderboard. I have basically on that inside sales leaderboard, a cost per acquisition, a cost per appointment, and inside of my sales reports, I have a closing percentage. So basically I've hooked up Google Data Studio to Job Nimbus, and I've built out my own basically inside sales platform. And so we take the data from SDU Hub, go high level customized, Job Nimbus, and spit it out into a report. And right now, one of the biggest reasons why Job Nimbus over AccuLinks is because with like SDU Hub, a customized go high level platform, you can use that actual platform to make all the calls, do all the text messages, send all the automated emails and text messages to keep up with the calls. And if you want to increase the amount of appointments, you got to increase the speed to lead. That means how quickly do you get a qualified person to call them? Within 5 minutes, you increase your rate 80%. How quickly you get basically an automated way for them to schedule an appointment. So have an Calendly link attached to the ad so that a percentage of the leads automatically get scheduled. And then not only call them within 5 minutes, but text them within 5 minutes also with a link to schedule. And so there are only a small percentage of people when you send them a text will actually click on the link. And so once you've sent 2 or 3 text messages, what happens is in the SDU Hub next door is every time they're sending a text message, the customer has a chance to text back, but we also follow it up with a phone call. And so what happens is like there's many times where people don't answer the phone until they've gotten 3 texts and 3 phone calls. And setting up that assembly line process in SDU Hub, it lowers your cost per appointment.
Agreed.
And right now, even if you're getting people to opt in, say that they want your help on Facebook for $70 or $100, which is pretty cheap, sometimes it can take 4 and 5 of those leads to equal 1 appointment. Then it becomes $400 and $500 an appointment, which is kind of shitty if you're only closing 20%.
Right.
500 times, that means it's $2,000 cost per acquisition. So cost per appointment, and then you got cost per acquisition. I guess that could be easily confused with the CPA. And basically, cost per acquisition is pretty simple. You got to count both contingencies and retail contracts.
So that's total marketing cost divided by total sales.
Yes. And you don't necessarily have to count the dollar amount of the sale, and you don't have to only count the sales that are cash deals.
Yeah.
If you got a deal that is going to come out in 6 months, that's still a deal.
Right.
You acquired that customer. Now, the cost per acquisition on the internet for solar and roofing nationwide, what do you think the average is? A good average that could be scaled to the moon. Like the best in the world, like Erie Metal Roofing or the best online advertisers. What do you think the cost per acquisition is?
For roofing?
Yeah.
$1,000.
That's low end. So it's $1,000 to $2,000, depending on what market you are, depending on if you're good or not. And if you spend $2,000 on a project that you don't get paid on for 6 months, does that scale?
Does that scale? Not solely, no.
No. That's one of the challenges. It's one of the threats of advertising and selling contingency agreements. See, it's one thing I've had to bear. And so when we get the lead into a contingency cycle, we immediately plant the seed to go retail. We have a process. I'm going to walk you through that process. I'm going to introduce you to some things that we may have to even talk about off camera where you can get through this cash flow cycle. But essentially, this cost per acquisition, it comes down to one thing. And believe it or not, do you think that the sales presentation is the biggest reason why people don't close?
If you're asking, no.
Okay, what do you think the biggest reason why these leads don't get closed?
Follow up.
Correct. And I think a lot of time it has to do with, you know, a busy salesperson. This is what happens.
Scared of their price. They're scared.
There's a lot of things that happen. Okay. For one, the best car salesman on the car lot doesn't judge anyone who walks up onto the car lot. They treat every person like they have 800 credit. They treat every person like they have 100,000 to spend cash on a car. And if they're broke and don't have credit and disqualified, they still get the same service. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of times the sales reps, especially sales reps that I'm sending tons of leads to, they won't go to the leads that are far away and small roofs. Right. They won't go to the leads that are retail leads. They don't want to go to the ones because they're insurance salesmen. They know that the retail guy only wants the cheapest bidder. They haven't been really taught as well as they should how to sell.
The retail guy wants the cheapest bidder.
But they don't understand how to sell payments, how to use service finance, how to walk them through a video by GAF and show, hey, look, this is going to save you hundreds of dollars on your insurance. This is going to be a low monthly payment. The price is only going to go up. And right now you're getting the best deal you could possibly get. Sign right here. And they don't realize sometimes if you can get someone approved when they can't get approved anywhere else, that you can actually charge more or less.
More.
You can charge more. So low income lead could actually be a high profit sale.
Right.
And there's a lot of roofers out there that only focus on the lowest of the barrel, just getting people approved for credit that don't have good credit. Now, that being said, the biggest reason cost per acquisition's fucked up on marketing is the leads don't get ran. They don't get called. They don't show up. The second biggest reason why the cost per acquisition doesn't get closed is they don't complete the offer. So you have to require and you have to have text message follow up. First thing you got to have to improve this cost per acquisition is as soon as it's signed, a lead is assigned to the sales rep, there has to be automation within the system to text the sales rep, to text the owner, hey, you got an appointment. If you need to reschedule, let us know. Yeah. There needs to be 2 of those for both the homeowner and the sales rep. Because you know what I do in the middle of the day when you give me an appointment? You could give me an appointment. And I could be completely like dialed in, having the best day ever. I get a great lead, I sell a deal, and then what? I forget about my appointment, I get distracted, I don't realize I'm an hour across town, I'm late. Have you ever done that before?
Yeah.
You ever just forgot about an appointment?
I have. I'm pretty good at my calendar, but I can't say.
But just think about like
else.
at what level.
Yeah.
Like think about what you do when you were 25.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, at 25, I was going to the freaking nightclub 4 times a week.
For sure. 0 sleep. Didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
Yeah.
But I was definitely missing appointments.
Agreed.
And I have sales reps like that.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like,
I think that's a huge opportunity for us is to improve on
improve marketing systems.
Improve marketing systems and automation.
Marketing efficiency is really what it comes down to.
Yes.
Because you're good at the video content, you're good at getting leads. You just
creating funnels where they automatically click and go to the next page. I'm learning all of that through high level right now and trying to kind of narrow that down.
What you want to do is you want to remember putting too much barrier to, you have to think about like, if you were coming to my page, you're a busy guy. If I gave you 14 different websites to go to, you're so busy, it might be easier for me to remove all those 14 websites, let you get right to the source, see the presentation, schedule the appointment, follow up with it fast. See, the funnel isn't just the website. The funnel is how it goes through the whole process. How it comes from the video, how when it comes in, they get an automated text, how they get a call from a person, how they get emails that give verification of indoctrination, good stuff. So anyways, the biggest place that this place fails is the leads don't get ran, they don't get completed offers, and you do have to follow up on the sales rep. Did you give them an estimate? I mean, even if my estimate's too high, if they gave them an estimate, I can still go back by there and drop the price. And if they didn't give them an estimate, you know, we find that on a high percentage of jobs that that's the reason why they don't close the deal. And so,
because they assume it's not a good job, or they assume
that's one reason. Sometimes they think it's a good job and they got the deal in the bank and they don't do the fucking estimate.
Right,
dude, it's ridiculous. I mean, take the time, finish your job. I believe transparency builds trust. That's my brand promise.
Yeah.
Like, people have a hard time finding a roofer they can trust. I want to prove that being an open book is, even including like filming me doing door-to-door stuff and talking about entrepreneurship on, like, it's never really hurt me in like getting a job. Every customer that's ever Googled me is like, man, you're an entrepreneur. I like that. You
Right,
know?
me too.
And so, that being said, to really get down to your closing percentage, which is the next number that matters, all right, even though I had the 5 eyes of the blue collar close, I didn't have a sales presentation with a PDF that walked my salesman through the exact process of building certainty in them, the company, and the process, that showed our unique delivery method that made it easier, better than anybody else, that pulled the objections out of the customer's head. And I'll walk you through our PDF presentation. We do a lot of different things. We talk about how the insurance company's original estimate has this many line items. Our estimate has this many line items. We talk about metal's actually cheaper than shingles, and do a pricing metrics on how that basically if they go metal, they can save on insurance and they won't have to replace the roof metal times. It's a lot cheaper. Then we go through a different database of different roofers' average price per square and show them how our price per square is there. And then we close it out, not just showing them like case studies and references and all these different things, but we close it out with something called a price value guarantee. And so we were not that good at retail. And I had to get my cost per acquisition at it's between 1,000 and 2,000, even if I spend 1,000. You know, if I'm getting 60 deals a month, 70 deals a month, that's 70 G's. And if I'm waiting 6 months for that 70 G's, shit, I need that money back quick as possible.
Right.
And because if it's 60 contracts, average contracts 30,000, you know, that's 1.8 million. And if I spent 70,000 and got 1.8 million, and the average margin is 20%, then you're making, you know, $360,000 from $70,000. Is that a good investment?
For sure.
All right. But I would say one of your weaknesses is probably similar to mine. You need a better retail PDF sales presentation. You can copy mine. And,
Totally. We don't even have one.
Okay.
We got.
Well, we've been busting it out.
Yeah,
We've gone through a few different things. I think this is a weakness where you have a retail sales process that is
inconsistent.
Bert is an insurance guy.
Yeah, he
knows
good at
retail.
both. He's good at both, but training guys underneath him is difficult.
So he needs to be on the 2 a.m. Wednesday call. He doesn't need to be on every Thursday call if he's not. He does, but the 2 a.m. Wednesday calls with Ricky Southers.
2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Yeah.
And you've been on it before?
I have not been on that one.
But he's about to come down to Florida. Ricky is. He's going to come down for January and February. He will even go to your office and train your people.
Nice.
And do it in person. And he's a part of the roll-up team. And that was one of the things that added us, because I am an insurance guy first. And if I'm going to learn retail, see, I was watching a video about the roof strategist, and he said 3 gimmicks in roofing sales you should never do. And he talked about how one of them was the price drop, that you should never deal with a roofer that does price drops. But see, the thing is like, even the roof strategist is more of an insurance guy, because you can't do retail. Like, do you ever do a car deal with no price drops? What percentage of car deals get done with no price drops?
Well, I just went to Mercedes and we bought a smaller Mercedes. I was like, is there any wiggle room? He's like, nah, we're a national company. We can't lower it at all. So they were pretty like, they didn't budge a bit. You know, I got them a little on the dealer fee or something, but it wasn't much at all.
Yeah,
I was very surprised.
You got 5% or less. The point is, like, you had to feel like
used car dealerships, totally different story. I can imagine.
Well, I guess that's the big thing, that people don't want to be like a used car dealer.
Yeah.
But a lot of times the worst day in someone's life can be when they have to pay for a roof, because they're not really like getting this like huge, okay, this roof is, you know, it makes the house look better. It upgrades the curb appeal. And sometimes people get excited about it, but most of the time it's not something that they want to spend money on.
No, not often at all.
Not often at all.
Yeah.
You know, so figuring out a way that they can win oftentimes is a really important strategy I didn't understand that Ricky really taught me. Like, I would go into the jobs and bid them, let's say most of the time a high price is 45% profit on a shingle roof at 800 a square. That's high. Yeah. But it's good. That's what we want, right?
Yeah, that's what we want.
And we get it with insurance. Yeah. Sometimes we get above that, right?
Yeah.
Well, he taught me that don't just walk in there with an estimate for 800 a square. Don't be afraid to write it for 900 a square. So that, you know, yes, you can be the most expensive person in the room, but it starts to build value in everything that you deliver, the materials, the warranty, the service, and then going through that process where the customer can win a little bit. I mean, if you do it right, it means that you close more deals that you wouldn't close. And I say all's fair in love and war, and it's my moral duty to close them because they're better off with me than without me. So whatever it takes to get them to see that, that's not a bad thing. So retail, marketing, okay, opportunities. What are more opportunities?
Being better with our automations and our marketing. We talked about that. Right. Opportunities are increasing our sales staff. Okay. Bringing in more people.
All right. More recruits. You got a recruiting system now.
We do. All right. Bringing in, you know, just...
I'd say commercial is one of your opportunities.
Commercial?
Bert and his fucking ability to go get these big jobs, that's like 1 in a million.
Agreed. Right. I love the big jobs. You sell them one time. And,
all right. Big jobs.
Yeah.
All right. And you know what? The thing about the big jobs is they're going to be around here for a long time. Yeah. They don't just get taken off the market. So we got lots of opportunity. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you a story. One of these big metal roofs I just got, $2.5 million retail deal. It's right in the middle where all the damn roofs got replaced in Irma. They didn't think they had damage. We got them to file a claim, $15 million claim to legal, but you still got to get a roof because your insurance is dropping you. So they pay cash, 2.5 mil, had to get a loan, had to clear out the assessment. But that is a job that CMR did a lot more roofs in Lely than me. But I got the biggest motherfucking job. 6-7 years later.
There's a lot of that out there. The big associations battling it out. Some of them, like you said, don't even know they have roof. We got one in Bonita we just signed up. Going to be similar numbers, big. You know, it takes a while, is a negative.
So one of the things that y'all don't have that you need the data. You need the data on, I have the data. Okay, I'll share it with you. Okay. Just because I share it with you doesn't mean that you're going to do anything with it. What's the data? The data is the name of all of the board members and their cell phone numbers that exist in Lee County. That's pretty fucking. That's legit, isn't it?
For sure.
Well, I'm not using it as good as I could. I got leads off of it all year long, and you know what happens when you call somebody that no one else has the data on?
What?
Fucking easy lead. Come on. Forget talking to the property manager where everyone's going into. I mean, the property managers are nice. You get one, you make them happy, you get a lot of jobs. But, I mean, they're cock blockers a lot of times. And the cool thing about calling a board is you get a guy like Bert. Dude, a treasurer can tell you no. But then you got the vice president's number. So the treasurer says, screw you, I'm not interested. But then you go to the vice president and he says, you know what? I think it's bullshit the insurance company denied our claim. Come on out here and do an inspection.
Nice.
And now you're in with one person that got you into the door. Maybe you hadn't win the heart and mind of that treasurer later on.
I mean, I'm learning more and more. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And you get in good with some of these boards, they will fight for you to get the job. The price does matter, but the relationship matters more. And Bert's really good at that. I'm getting better at that. Our team's getting better at that. So I'm really focusing on relationships and
that's an opportunity. So you have a lot of local relationships in Lee County that are what I call like potential referral partners for both businesses, whether it's an architect or a realtor or a property manager or a business owner. Expanding this list and growing this list.
I think it's more about deepening the list as far as expanding it. I know a lot of people, but
you're right. So deepening
well.
it with like reciprocity, like Harvey Cohen sent me a fucking ice chest, backpack. Someone came over to my house yesterday and they were like, dude, do you get fucking new Yetis? Like, how many goddamn Yetis do you have? I'm like, well, I got attorneys that give me good gifts. I've probably gotten a few of them for free.
Right.
But now I'm going to give my work to Harvey. You know, I don't do a good enough job of that.
Right.
I should have sent a lot more fucking gifts out like Harvey.
Agreed.
God dang.
You know, those little things, what it costs.
They do, bro.
$100, who cares? The amount of work they remember. I remember who sent me stuff.
Right.
And whenever there's an opportunity, I'm like,
dude, AccuLynx sent me this big old bottle of whiskey. I don't even drink whiskey. I put it up into my fucking cabinet thinking I'll never drink this shit. Give it away to someone else. And I know you're like not drinking right now.
Yeah, it's been
and so I'm like more working out. I'm not trying to undo my gym shit with work. I like to drink, but I'm just not drinking really.
Yeah.
And so, but the bottle of whiskey was an expensive one, and I'm not going to use AccuLynx, but I felt compelled to get on the fucking phone with these guys because I'm such a reciprocity person, dude.
Yeah.
So deepening the relationships, more of those opportunities. I think you got opportunities in expanding your market, expanding into Sarasota, expanding into Venice, expanding into
Miami.
Oh, there it is. Look, the East Coast expansion is better right now.
Yeah.
The West Coast has been.
We got some good leads in Miami.
You want me to give you some hot spots?
Yeah.
All right. So,
I mean, are you door knocking there?
Absolutely, brother. Let me tell you, I'm actually getting tile roofs bought without going to legal. I'm getting shingle roofs bought without going to second inspections. Here we go. Got 2 different dates. There's a date in November. Tornadoes came through Broward, Delray, Boynton Beach, Boca. A lot of this damage, believe it or not, happened in Irma. We got a deal yesterday as a roof solar combo, and she'd already been paid for a claim. She kept the check. Yeah. But now our insurance is dropping her. She needs a new roof. We come across her while we're either Facebook lead or door knock, and it's a roof solar combo, and we roll it into one loan. It's a retail deal. My point is, we were knocking in that neighborhood because we had a new storm date. The new storm date was November. The new storm date is December, I think it was December 17th, December 18th. There was basically here recently, right before Christmas, sort of like depression that spun up and was almost like a unnamed tropical storm type thing. And basically over on the East Coast, it was pretty bad. Yeah. Hell, it was bad over here too.
And it just came through.
Yeah. So that straight line wind storm, without a storm date, is going to let us get into like, now the biggest objection over there is like, you know, this is not real, there's not enough damage, and you know, to me that's the easiest objection to overcome, especially if you got a leader like Bert who's teaching people how to overcome the objections. And there's less people door knocking for insurance. There's a lot of retail guys on the East Coast. So it's like honestly, the hunting grounds, there was a lot of deer and a lot of hunters on the West Coast, and the deer population got shot the fuck up. Yeah. And the best place to find deer on the West Coast are going to be areas that are hard to get to, gated communities, neighborhoods that are fucking blocked the hell off of the natural path, just neighborhoods that are not easy to get to. Those are going to be probably the ones that have been least amount of door knocked. Now you go to the East Coast, and you just haven't had like these big storm dates over the last 7 years, but we have these recent storm dates, and the only companies that were pushing it over there, like CMR, they got a lot of claims over there. Yeah. But they kind of
they're going down.
Yeah. So there's a lot of opportunity in East Coast and Northern expansion.
So when you're expanding in a market, do you set up an office over there?
No.
You just have people that live there. And,
virtual. I mean, you have digital boards, you have Zoom meetings, you have a group chat, you've got production out of your headquarters in Fort Myers. Your guys need to meet up with you for camaraderie and door to door. But if Bert is door to door, his office is his truck. His door to door heartbeat is his field contact. So if he has to get in his truck and drive to Venice, drive to Bradenton, to get out into territories where he could knock, and there's 60% of the roofs in the neighborhood that haven't been done, and there's a chance that half of the people that you talk to have not been door knocked for insurance, then that's more virgin territory. It's less fucking action. It's just like, dude, you get into the smorgasbord and you gotta get your hands up. But it ain't right, you know? I mean, that's the point though. Like, get the roofs bought in Bradenton and Sarasota. Now here's the thing. The wind up there isn't good enough for tile the same way. Now you can get tile bought Clearwater, St. Pete. There's some winds on the beach. We're talking about coastal areas. That's a little different. But as far as like getting tile bought off a 60-mile-an-hour wind, good luck.
Right.
Good luck taking that to court. I mean, you might get 50-50, but I'm not trying to go through legal for 50-50. You know what I mean? So focus on shingles. And this is where a guy like Bert can fucking really kind of get off of his rocker, because he's doing these big jobs. He's got all this shit going on. A damn knocking on a shingle roof when you're doing this shit for $10 million.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, we have Anthony, who's our sales manager, who we're training. He's pretty green in sales manager, but has a lot of heart and is learning well. He's doing well. And so we're going to train. I'm going to come back to him on this and starting to recruit guys in the East Coast.
So when I say an active sales rep, I think about a guy who goes into the field, who knocks some doors for the day, who shows up to your sales meetings, and ideally I'd like them turning in 1 to 2 jobs a week. But you know, you got guys new in the process. It's going to take them time to build that up. You know, if you got an active sales rep, they're active. They're active in the group chat. They're active in the sales meetings. They're active at your office. So how many active sales reps do you have right now?
5.
5.
Yeah.
So right now, 5 active sales reps. If you're talking about average salesperson, you're talking about that. Now Bert is one of those salespersons, right?
No. These are 5 guys below Bert. Bert is...
so out of the 5 million, how much was Bert?
Probably half, 2.5.
Okay, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
So that's what you have right here. All right, so, you know, we can count on Bert to do 2.5 next year.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe even more.
I think so.
Maybe even more, okay? So that's good, all right? But the reality is, if Bert's gonna do, if we can help Bert, instead of doing 2.5, we can help him do 5, okay? And we can add another 5 reps. That's all we need.
So are you saying if a rep does 500K, one rep on average does 500K a year?
That's nationwide average.
Rep.
That's nationwide average with inflation. It used to be 300K.
Yeah.
But inflation, I mean, 500K is sort of the average. If you think about it, you know, even at 20K a job, that's about 25 jobs, you know, and to go through the whole process to build it and collect it, that's about what you're looking at. Now, you're going to have some that only come in and sell a few. You're going to have some come in and sell 100.
Right.
But it's going to come down to, all right, out of the people that showed up to sales meetings and at least turned in 1 job, what's the average? Now, that's not even taking the average of all the dick bags that showed up at your office and said they wanted to sell.
Right.
Because then it'd be a lot fucking lower than that.
Yeah.
Because if you really wanted to know, if you wanted to do the average off of who applied and said, I can be a roofing salesman.
No.
Usually after 2 weeks, you got hope for a motherfucker.
Right.
And if after 2 weeks you still got hope, that's when you can start counting if he's gonna make it or not. Because like basically in 2 weeks, if a guy has showed up to the office every day, knocked 50 doors a day, 6 days a week, he has partnered with an experienced guy and basically knocked doors in his territory, there's almost no way he's not getting 2 to 5 contingency agreements in that 2 week time period. Now, in order to get 50 door knocks times 6, 300 door knocks times 2, 600 door knocks, how long does it take some people to get 600 door knocks?
Wow.
It takes a lot longer than 2 weeks. So if you elongate that and you say over a month he got 600 door knocks, did he get 5 deals? If he did, he's gonna have a probably 80% chance to get to 500K, right?
Yeah.
If he didn't, he's probably got an 80% chance to fail. That's it.
Right.
That's why it's so important, the new guys that come in their first 2 weeks and tracking who comes out with something, because that's when you can start counting. And like if you have these guys and they're all producing and active, who's the next round? And so to get to this, it's very simple. We've gone over it on coaching calls a lot. We've talked about the answer, but I think it's pretty simple. You have a great personal brand, you have a strong network. You can use your own network better. You can create more content that features the wins of your sales reps. Never seen that on your content. You can get your sales reps to collaborate with you on Reels. You can get your sales rep to never waste an opportunity on a roof. Talk about their win, talk about their sell, and then you can share it to your platform. You could tag me, I can share it to my platform. We can even do, if the post is really good and beneficial to my audience, a 3-way collaborative post with my audience, your audience, and Bert or whoever else's audience to get you more views. The idea is you got organic views and you got organic content, right? I want you to do more social sales king work. I see you on social media, so I know you're a potential like star when it comes to social sales king. When you're creating this content, you're creating the stories, you got to message everyone who engages almost that looks like a key Dream 100 partner, sales recruit, or customer. And you can even have other people to do this. That's why a lot of times with my stories, the people who are giving me hearts, the people who are following me recently, I'm always hitting kind of responses back or having other people to hit responses back, because it's that you engaging with them. Like if you have somebody that you see as a good potential person to refer you shit, you go to their stories and you like their shit. You give them flames.
Yeah.
You comment on their shit. And I just believe if once a week you're doing a Zoom call, once a month you're holding a networking event where you're coaching people, and all you use your social media for is to share the wins of the people in your community, and you mention this, then you're gonna get more people from your organic group. Because we're not looking for that many people to get to 10. We're only looking for 5 good ones. Now, if 80% of the people fail, right, then in order to get 5 good ones, how many do we got to get? We got to go through
8, maybe 10.
No, it's usually way more than that. It's usually like probably
if 80% fail.
Yeah, you probably got to go through 20 hires.
Yeah,
you probably got to go through 20 hires to get 5 good ones. And that means 20 people that you onboard, that you think is going to go through the training, that you get somewhere through the 2 weeks of training.
I think we're starting to get a better response because a lot of realtors are starting to fizzle out.
Yeah.
And
realtors, mortgage brokers, people that are solar guys, they're all high attached to the interest rate. Roofing with insurance, recession proof.
Yeah.
Roofing when you're dropped by your insurance company is recession proof. You got to get it done.
Right.
And so, I mean, you've got expansion in the area. Don't be afraid to post your ads in Indeed and boost them all over. Don't be afraid to have a satellite office in the East Coast. Let Bert go there once a week to train the people, and let all them just go sell on the East Coast and build those jobs when they got them. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of Tampa. Don't be afraid of all these different areas to hire people. Tampa is a better place to hire than fucking where you're at.
Right.
There's more young people. I mean, Fort Myers has got its own community, but it's like old people are kind of ghetto. It's weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where Tampa has got that more of a mix a little bit. So expand in your area where you run your Indeed ads. Who's doing the Zoom call every week?
For hiring?
Yeah.
Anthony.
Yep.
He's found it better to bring them in, and he does a group interview in person. And our office is pretty nice, so when people come in and they get to see it, it kind of sells us as a stage of doing that.
The whole point of the Zoom, though, is to be able to expand your offer so that you can do it in Weston, Tampa, Bradenton, and you can do it in person. You can do both. There's something called a meeting owl. You ever seen one?
A what?
A meeting owl.
No.
A meeting owl is literally a speaker with a 360 camera that you set up in the meeting, and it literally will go Zoom, and it will AI pick up who's talking. It will change the camera to the person in the crowd, change the camera to the person up front, and basically we used to do all of our meetings with a meeting owl, but we don't anymore. But essentially it allows you to have a group of people in one room and still have the meeting through Zoom. So it's a virtual experience.
Wow, nice.
But
yeah, we haven't been recruiting outside of our area, so we're gonna start.
Yeah.
So that those will become more and more prevalent and needed.
Yeah, and I would say, cinnamon from the recruiting campaign from social media. I've got this new thing that I want you to be able to be a coach and mentor for. It's called Real Roofing, and essentially it's going to get access to the Roofing Redline app, access to our 3 sales training calls. Like our RCA has a Tuesday and Saturday sales meeting, and we have a Wednesday retail call. And I just think, since especially you're in Florida, like your guys would benefit tremendously from just being on my sales training call. It'd be like having additional sales trainers to your company. Yeah. And right now, as an elite client, I haven't pushed that enough, because that's one value I could be adding that doesn't take any of my time. And of course, the only concern would be like that these guys may want to work for RCA, but it's like, no, that's not how it works. You already have everything I got. We're already on the same team. You see what I'm saying?
it is what it is, man. I'm confident in my company and my people. If somebody wants to bounce ship, that's on them.
You know what? You built an unrecruitable team based off of core values, and you have this abundance mindset. I wish everyone else had that mindset, because thinking in terms of scarcity is why they can't recruit.
Yeah. Culture, having good people around, fun. If someone wants to go try something else, they're gone. I mean, they let them. I mean, I love all my people, but they are. It is what it is.
All right. So, one thing that's really important for me is getting areas where they can go out, new guys, knock, bring back deals to the home, and feel like that this was a good place to go and work. And this, to me, is going to be one of the key areas for y'all, figuring out where your door-to-door areas are, where you're plugging new guys in. Because an area, just because you've done a lot of jobs and because basically Bert can work it, it doesn't mean that it's good for a new guy.
Sure.
If I was to send some of my new guys to these neighborhoods that have been ransacked by all the roofers in Fort Myers, what do you think is going to happen to the new guy?
They're going to get discouraged.
They're going to get discouraged. They're going to quit. And you have
They need some easy wins quick.
They do.
We've started doing them and sending them on gutter leads.
Okay.
And those aren't as profitable, but
hey, they get a win.
They get a win, couple $1,000. Hey, I closed 3 deals. Yeah, they're 3,000, 5,000. Who cares? At least it gets them some wins, gets them happy, and a little bit of quick cash. And
if you could just quantify it as how many new guys I got and how many new guys did I get 2 to 5 big wins on in their first month, then that's sort of the indicator of how much you're going to get your 5 new recruits that produce the 500,000. And and realistically, you might need more than that. Bert may not be able to do this, because Bert selling 5 million, if you have a top sales guy, a sales manager, and an enforcer of operations, you've got a bottleneck at the top. And essentially, we don't want to get Bert away from the big jobs, and we know we've got a bunch going.
Yeah.
But we have to also realize that it's the biggest strength, and it could be a big weakness too. So helping him manage his calendar, believe it or not, I'm not the greatest at time efficiency. I had to really get good at it. And so how you lead him in this arena and are a personal mentor to him, it might be key in how you get to where you need to be.
Yeah, I feel I've changed my position from being in the day-to-day and involved with everything to real mentorship with my leaders. I meet with them on a weekly basis, undivided attention for as long as they need, and we go over a scorecard of what's going on, the numbers, what they need. My job is to make it easy for them to do their job and give them everything they need to do it well. And that's how I am able to manage or to lead in 2 different companies, because I don't day-to-day manage. I'm a visionary, and Bert is a doer, and so is Tanda on the Tri-Town side. They execute, and we communicate, we come up with the plan, and they're the ones who execute.
All right, so perfect the recruiting funnel, and then as far as door-to-door goes, the one thing I would tell you is if you get to be door-to-door by the numbers, and the numbers that you're tracking is how many new guys got 2 to 5 big wins, how many doors are we knocking as a team, how many offers are we completing, how many contingencies are we signing, what's our closing rate at home, what's our closing rate on the company generated leads. This by the numbers and the contact of each individual meeting with the sales rep may be an improvement to Anthony and to Bert's sales management skills, but another one of the biggest failure in door-to-door is territory management.
Yeah.
And Bert's doing a bunch of shit. And those fucking salespeople are squirrels. And once they leave your office after training, they just they act like they know what they're doing, and then they fucking go, where do I go?
Right.
And so getting dialed in with the door-to-door is very important, whether that means new territories, territory management, getting the new guys successful, tracking it by the doors with the roofing red line, having a more accountability to the actual numbers. This right here is key, okay? Now, with you as a marketer, the third thing, believe it or not, before the automations and marketing, it's more important? Consistency. And you're really good at content. So I need to figure out how you can get 5 video ads a month shot for Florida roofing and gutters specifically. That's a gutter ad, that's a repair ad, that's an insurance ad, that's a retail ad, that's a build video ad, a hidden damage ad. Every single month, okay, so that basically, dude, you can retarget audiences that you develop on Tri-Town, people that watch Tri-Town Reels, and you can retarget them with Florida roofing and gutter ads, okay? Vice versa is the same as well. You can advertise roofing from Tri-Town with Florida roofing and gutters as the, whatever. My point is, you create content, people view that content. One of the things I don't see as much, because you should be retargeting all the people who come to your page. I'm a homeowner in Florida.
How do you do that?
Well, our marketing team, Alejandro, sets up the retargeting campaign. It's very simple. And if you make 5 videos a month for me, I'm going to use dynamic creative, which is AI, and I'm going to feed it to Facebook, and Facebook's going to feed it all across the web, and it's going to figure out what's the most effective video, and then I'm going to retarget it. And the first video that gets the attention may not be the one that is the best retargeting video, but I could use the same 5 videos, and then I could retarget everyone who watched the video for more than 3 seconds, or who went onto the page, or any of those things. And now it's the reason why you see my ads still. It's because everybody's getting retargeted all the time. And just adding retargeting to your marketing, it will lower your cost per lead, lower your cost per acquisition, give you more leads, but it's going to put a burden on you to create more ad videos.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I feel like I'm good at creating content or figuring that out. That's no problem. What are your thoughts about marketing? I'm the face of Tri-Town and Florida roofing and gutters. Is that an issue?
No. I'm about to be the face of Leak Busters, me. If I did an ad for you, you wouldn't care. They see my ads on RCA. But if I put your shirt on, do an ad for you, bro, I'm good at it. I've practiced it way more. You're good on camera, but until you do 2,000 ad videos, you're not going to be practiced as I am. So I could do it I've done it in the same market for Chris Construction, Cocoa Beach, RCA. Customers are saying, I saw you on a Chris Construction ad. But I did that for all my clients during COVID. I did an ad video for them just to keep them alive, because back then there wasn't as many people as believing as much in the video ads and the marketing. But for you, you got to get the SDU hub set up, the marketing automation, the inside sales center, and if we were to partner, the idea would be, I got a call center next door. Let us take it completely over, so as an outsourced thing, you don't have to worry about it. And basically, our system has 6 texts, 6 phone calls, and a follow-up mechanism on the sales rep, on the customer, on the sales rep to complete the offer. Even after we left the customer, we're calling them to reset appointments. Like, we'll get a contingency agreement, and then a month down the road, our inside sales team will get an alert that says, call this customer, and then they will reset an appointment for a retail close, because at 30 days into a contingency, that's when we need to be talking about, look, the insurance companies take forever. You got to get this done anyways. We got 0 interest, 0 money down. We've done everything we can in the insurance process, and let's just go ahead and move forward if you'd like.
So with the insurance, let's say you're hoping they pay $30K.
Yeah.
Retail, you're saying what, $20K, or you're saying still the $30K?
No, I'm charging $800 a square, my starting point when I walk into a home to bid retail, and the low point's $650.
Okay, so are you okay with that? What if your legal team got $30K and you sold it retail at $20?
$30K in 8 months versus a happy customer and $25K now, it's not even in comparison.
So you take the $25K every time, and if they get 30, they keep the difference. What do I want?
I want a happy customer. I want a 5-star review. I want the referrals that come from the customer. If I make $5,000 less on the job, well, so the fuck what? I mean, to be honest with you, I have a minimum profit margin, a threshold that I don't go below, and a threshold if my sales reps go below that the company makes the minimum no matter what.
Right.
And so for me, it's level up your ad videos, your content calendar, like how you create content for basically organic content that gets views, and the ad videos. how you do both, because the good organic content is going to create free views that you can retarget with paid advertisements. But it, like you said many times, improving the marketing efficiency through automation just means finishing this SDU hub setup, getting your call center operating like mine. We're going to go next door. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. But this is going to create the problem for you next, which would be number 4, which is master retail. Because once you are getting leads like crazy, you're going to want those leads converted as fast as possible to invest those profits back into more leads. Because you got the deal, it's just how quickly can we turn it into money? And once we turn it into money, then we can go buy more deals. And that's why me giving you my retail sales presentation, you being on the 2 p.m. retail call, you kind of forcing this transformation, because this is the way that we're going to continue to sell in Fort Myers even 2 or 3 years now. There's still going to be a retail market.
Right.
And whoever is best at getting the data, just like I was talking about the big jobs, the data that I have that no one else has.
Right.
So if you pin drop every old roof in Fort Myers that's over 40 squares to shingle, every old tile roof, if you have that in a database and you've sent everyone a piece of direct mail, you're calling everybody, you're knocking on everyone's door, you're literally running a no roof left behind campaign where you're doing it by the numbers. This is where you squeeze that fucking lemon, you get all the goddamn juice out of it. And, you know, perfect the recruiting funnel, door to door by the numbers, level up the ad videos and content, master retail. And you got to realize that this recruiting funnel, whether it's Anthony that's your guy or it's not, the Burt replacement is the biggest choke point, because we want him to be able to do this potentially.
Right.
And I don't think you can find someone else to do that right now. And that right there is more profitable than this right here, is it not?
Yeah.
It's easier to manage, it's more profitable, it's just a better quality life.
Right.
And so, you know, this is the map for Florida roofing and gutters. It took a little while. I thought I could do 2 companies, but we only got time for 1.
It's all good.
I think we can talk about Tri-Town in the podcast.
Yeah, cool.
But, you know, I think showing up, coming together with me, us spending more time together like this, I think I'm always willing to put into people like you who show up for the coaching, who create the content, who are recruiting, who are trying to do it. And yeah, you're doing a little bit your own way with the in-person, but I can see how if you're only recruiting locally that the in-person could maybe work better. But you got to remember, there's some people that won't get in their car and drive there.
Yeah.
And there's something about a Zoom call where you get you and some of the, I don't know if you've ever been to an AA meeting, but it's how I got sober when I was a kid. And basically, there's something about, you know, when you walk in and you hear everyone's stories. They're rock bottom to sober stories. And it just kind of makes you feel like, man, this is a group that is only sharing their stories to help me. The most important person in the room is the person that's the newest person in the room. So that Zoom call where you get 2 or 3 or 4 of your guys and you get them in, and then that creates, they understand your culture, that makes them want to come to the office. It's like, how many people are you getting to that weekly group Zoom? 5?
The weekly group Zoom?
Group interview, 5?
Yeah, 5, 7, somewhere in there.
The idea is to get 25 plus on Zoom every week. And if you'll do that, then you're outperforming these numbers.
Right.
And I know that you can do it because I do it.
Yeah.
Now, the only difference is that if I only advertised in the area that all the other roofers advertised, I would have a hard fucking time.
Yeah.
Because guess who else is out there recruiting people in Fort Myers?
Yeah, all of them.
Every fucking roofer.
Right. So when you say 25, you mean your whole territory. So if you're in Miami, that's one group, right? You're not doing
I'm looking for 25, 30 people on the Zoom call a week. And I'm looking for 5 to 7 people that say I'm in a week.
Right.
And then out of those 5 to 7 people that say I'm in, I'm looking for 5 of those people to get onboarded. And out of those 5 people that get onboarded, I'm looking for 2 to get their first 5 deals in their first 2 weeks.
So some of these guys you might have not ever met, or your team might have not ever met in person. Is that accurate?
No, because you got to get them in the office.
So even if they're 2 or 3 hours away,
Make them come get indoctrinated.
you have to
Because
make
your
them to
office
come
is
in.
cool.
Yeah.
And what it, like I had a kid buy my program from Texas, and he worked for another roofing company. And this is the culmination, guys. If you are watching this, it's going to change the roofing industry forever still. Appreciate y'all hanging in there. Comment below what you think. But this concept has been proven. It's how Andrew Tate grew his whole mass and army. But it's pretty much, dude, you have all the tools to be a coach and to be basically a certified roof coach in Skydiamonds and real roofing. Now, I'm partnering with Brad. Brad's got a little bit more influence than me with salespeople. He's going to help us get a lot of generic salespeople into the roofing industry.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a part of the Zoom calls. He's going to be a part of the live events. He already is on a lot of things. But the main thing is we get a lot of credibility in the wide sales population of, you know what, roofing's a good sales job. There's a gold rush in roofing. You don't have to do the jobs, you sell the jobs. You can make more in roofing than you can in life insurance, make more in roofing than you can in solar, you make blah, blah, blah. Brad's gonna help us sell that. But the real roofing product is the roofing red line. It's my sales meetings, the 3 sales meetings a week, which is fucking invaluable, retail and insurance, door to door, and a group chat, along with access to the National Roofing League so that your guys can plug in through the app and get recognized and can be a part of this competition, this brotherhood that pushes them to do more. And dude, you get a guy like Bert trying to beat all the people in my company. This motherfucker, these guys are the ones that respond the most, like the super competitive racehorses. You can get, the way I've gotten people to produce 300 jobs in a year is by constantly recognizing them, constantly having competition. So, you know, if you have a program like Real Roofing, what I would like you to do is go out there and sell it yourself. Be a coach yourself. Promote it yourself. Keep 50% of the profits. Be a true affiliate. And then when you have somebody that says, man, I want to join, look, I'm down to my last $100. I can't buy into your program because right now I want to offer $200 a month or $2,000 for the year. And if they spend $2,000 a year, I'm going to give them a free ticket to the event. So the whole thing is to build a community of roofing salespeople.
Right.
Now, what happens when I sell 10,000 real roofing packages?
Getting
Well, if I recruit, if 80-20 rule is correct, that'd be 2,000 recruits. Because the first person I sold this to, his name is Bobby. He lived in Dallas. He worked for a roofer in Dallas that was trying to keep him stupid, and he wanted to learn, and so he bought the training and immediately fell in love with our core values and what we're all about, and decided that he wanted to run his projects through our network. Now, I have High Performance Roofing in Dallas. I have RCA. I have a handful of companies that can install his jobs. But through the platform, he's able to basically get my culture, core values, system, guidance, but also plug in to our network, our leads, our installers, and it kind of puts the power in the salespeople's hands. Now, what is that? The salesperson, Bobby, ponied up $2,000. And whenever he was like, dude, I want to come work with your company, because he bought the program, not the business owner.
Right.
It'd be different if the business owner bought the program.
Right.
Bobby brought the fucking program. The business owner is uncoachable. So Bobby spends $2,000. I say, Bobby, come tour my office, come door to door with me. Let me teach you how we do things. And if you're a good fit, then maybe I'll let you be a leader in our Dallas office. So he came here, he saw the office, he got indoctrinated on our core values, he saw our systems, got the TRD training, and I spent some time with him because I don't have a solid core operation in Dallas the way I do here. And that won his heart and mind to say, you know what? I'm not going to get all the support I need in Dallas. I don't care. I'm going to get more from these guys virtually, and I'm going to build around what I got, and they're going to come support me. I'm all in. So if I can get someone to come from Dallas, fire their company, and then become my sales manager and leader and come to work for mine, the idea is you can get somebody from West Palm to buy the training, to come to the calls. You could keep half the money, and at the same sentence, you can get them to come into your group. And so we got to work things out before, like, you know, how it all works. This is going to create new problems. Success always does. But me being able to charge for sales training to the salesperson instead of focusing on selling rich people like you, because you got a $12 million business and you got a $5 million business, so it seems really easy to go sell you a $60K package. versus selling a salesperson a $200 a month package. But there's more value in the community. Well, actually there's more value in your community because I actually want to buy into your business, make a conglomerate, create a $1 billion company. But the way that we kind of expand massively through recruiting is if I am selling a product, the reason why you see my ads all the time is because I make a profit off of them.
Yeah.
No one else spends as much money advertising to roofers in the industry as me. Because no one has the advertising funnel I do. I make a profit. When you advertise for profit, you get free brand building. And so if I can sell real roofing at $200 a month to all the roofing salespeople, people getting in the roofing industry, and break even, but I just get thousands of new recruits, holy shit, I just added massive value to my community. I gave you a paid coaching program to have. Now it comes down to execution. These are the levels that I'm trying to execute in 2024. Maybe you could be a part of that, guys. We're gonna wrap this up, do a podcast. This was a breakdown on how he can go from 5 million to 10 million bucks. This is where a lot of people want to get to. And it's not that complicated, guys. All you need right now, step 1 is perfect the recruiting funnel. Step 2, door-to-door by the numbers, hardcore door-to-door. Here's some tenets of hardcore door-to-door. Everybody trains in the university. Everybody shows up to the office for role playing. You get everybody's goals daily. You have a daily count on how many deals they sell and how many doors they knock. And essentially, recognition drives sales better than fear. So recognizing the guys is always gonna be the better way to do it than beating them with a stick. Number 3, level up the ad videos and content machine. You already got that. The content machine behind it's the automation, but just taking it to the next level. This is infinite number of the more hands you shake, the more money you make, the smaller the world gets. You understand this. And then the way you scale that advertisement is mastering retail, because insurance and advertising, they don't scale the same way door-to-door and insurance scales. Door-to-door and insurance scales because the cost per acquisition is low because of the recruiting factor. Door-to-door and retail is hard, but with retail, the leads matter. So this is why mastering the retail for you is important. And honestly, we're gonna talk about the budgeting and profit first and EOS traction systems that you probably need to increase margin over here.
Yeah.
And it's still gonna apply to here, but those things are not the things that drive revenue, and I want you to focus on these things first versus where each stage of the job nimbus goes.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These make you a lot more money. All right, guys, comment below what you think. We're gonna do a podcast. This is Mark. Mark, how can they get in touch with you, man?
MarkDeVeese.com, Tri-Town Construction, Florida Roofing and Gutters. I'm here in Southwest Florida and soon to be in Miami.
All right, guys, we'll see y'all.